Very straightforward. Tadej Pogacar. So yeah, he's my pick. There's nobody else in my opinion after what we saw today, Spencer, and a mountain time trial. I think the books are right. Even at minus 560. Yeah, I can't see anybody else winning than him.
Hi, I'm Spencer Martin, along with Johan Bruyneel, and this is Outcomes. Outcomes is for informational and entertainment purposes only. Nothing in this podcast should be considered financial advice. Please gamble responsibly, and if you or someone you know has a gambling problem, seek help from a professional resource. Hosts and guests may have financial interest in the bets discussed. Past performance does not guarantee future results. Everybody, welcome back to Outcomes. I'm Spencer Martin. I'm here with Johan Bruyneel. We are predicting stage 13 of the Tour de France. It's an 11-kilometer time trial up a mountain pass, which is unusual. I'll list off the favorites, and then we'll get Johan and I's take on who's going to win the stage. Before I do that, if you are interested in sports betting, or betting on this race that we're talking about, remember we have a partnership with NextBets, and to check that out, you go to nxtbets.com/betoutcomes, and they'll show you the available books where you live, the best sign-up bonuses. For example, if you live in Colorado and you go to FanDuel and you open an account and you bet $5, you get $150 free dollars. So I might recommend betting that $150 on whoever we pick today, because it is going to be one of the most predictable stages of the Tour. The market reflects that. The favorite is Tadej Pogacar. This is the best price I could find, by the way. Minus 560. I've never seen that for a stage, at a stage race, I believe. Jonas Vingegaard second at plus 500. Florian Lipowitz plus 2,200. Remco Evenepoel plus 2,200. Primož Roglic plus 8,000. Felix Gall plus 10,000. I don't think we need to keep going. Johan, who do you think is going to win this thing?
Very straightforward. Tadej Pogacar. So yeah, he's my pick. There's nobody else in my opinion after what we saw today, Spencer, and a mountain time trial. I think the books are right. Even at minus 560. Yeah, I can't see anybody else winning than him. It's at 10.9 kilometers, all uphill, basically all uphill. What could make him not win this stage, Spencer? Choice of wrong equipment, maybe.
I don't. I think you could ride a Brompton and win this thing.
There's these talks about what they're going to do, or there's some rumors about people going to ride a time trial bike. I've heard Remco's riding his time trial bike. Jonas will probably ride his time trial bike because he was, maybe after today he changes his mind. But and then I heard a journalist ask the director of Tadej Pogacar, "What are you going to ride tomorrow? Normal bike or time trial bike?" And the guy said, we will decide tomorrow at the start. So
I'm sure that's true. Yeah, they haven't thought about it yet.
Yeah. So no, Pogacar wins this, Spencer. It's after today's demonstration. Even if physically Jonas is better tomorrow than today, which is possible. The mental blow he got today is like he got knocked out.
Yeah,
you don't recover from that in one day.
He physically looked off too. I also am picking Pogacar to break the suspense. Can you you're in the Pyrenees right now? Can you tell us a little bit about the climb? They do the Paris Sword, but then they take a detour like towards the top, and they go up an incredibly steep Altaport, I guess is what it's called. It's a almost vertical runway.
Yeah, well, so it's the Paris Sword coming from Loudonville. And they don't go to the top of the Paris Sword. Just a bit before the top, they take a right. It's a little bit more flattish. Still uphill, but not so much. And then they have this last stretch of this, mountain airport. For people who have been following cycling the last few years, this is exactly the same climb where Pogacar won with an unbelievable lead out of Brandon McNulty.
Yes.
So with Brandon McNulty, Pogacar, and Jonas, this is the climb. So it's the Paris Sword basically, with an extension of 2.5 kilometers to the top of the airport. The last 1.5 kilometers really very, 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 very steep. So it's, what is it? Is it 7.5 or 8%?
Well, so the
average,
last
but
5K are 8.1%. Like after they make the right turn. And so the last K
Yeah.
is like 16% average on once they hit that runway. It is so steep.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can't
it's hard.
quite wrap my head around this. Maybe on the Parasaur, the time trial bike would be faster. Lance was unconvinced by this in the podcast today, but man, the last 5K at 8%, are you really faster on a time trial bike?
Not in my opinion.
No, I maybe think.
But then again, Spencer, listen. I was at the start today, right of today's stage, and I talked to the UAE director, Machin, because I saw all the bikes there exposed, with the numbers on. So there were all the aero bikes, and he said, yeah, they're not that much heavier, 300 grams heavier than the normal bikes, and it's been proven that they're faster even at lower speeds. I mean, anything that gets close to between 18 and 20 kilometers per hour, it's noticeable already. And so we're going to see those aero bikes more and more. Jonas Vingegaard was riding his aero bike also today. So
you have to know you're going to be alone, which they did because they probably had that attack planned at the bottom.
Yeah.
So the aero bike does matter.
So in that case, tomorrow, for example, I could see. I'm still. I mean, obviously they've tested it. They've done the test, and Remco, for example, I think Remco is probably the rider of the whole peloton who spends the most time on his time trial bike. He may feel comfortable enough to use that bike if they can get the weight down. Obviously, there's not going to be a disc wheel in the back. No. I think it's going to be light. Profile wheels, but the lightest possible wheels, right? And then it kind of makes sense if you think that the new data now say that whenever it's around 20 kilometers or they're going to go faster than 20 kilometers an hour on much of this time trial. So that could, but I'm still. I think the normal bike.
Well, I don't think we're going to pick wild cards for the stage win because we just can't, in good conscience, recommend anyone bet on anyone. Because today we saw an uphill time trial, and we saw a domination from Pogačar. The interesting thing, though, I think, is to then figure out someone has to finish second and third on the stage. Mm-hmm. We saw today Jonas Vingegaard. He might have gotten crushed by Pogačar, but he's still pretty good uphill. I think he probably finishes second. I'm not going to bet on him because his odds are this is for the podium, minus 1,115. So no, thank you.
Okay, that makes no sense.
Is there another rider who you think is going to round out that podium on the stage?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, if you look at the top three now, so it's Pogačar and Jonas and Remco, right? Top three. I've seen a guy today who's coming up and he's improving, and he's in this upward trend now. Florian Lipowitz of Red Bull Bora. I'm going to pick him to be on the podium tomorrow. It's 110. If you analyze his last climb, I think he did the best of everybody else. The last 3.5 kilometers, hardly lost any time on Tadej Pogačar. So I'm going to pick him for the third spot to be on the podium for Florian Lipowitz.
Yeah, I think we crunched the numbers. He lost 0 seconds in the last 3K to Pogačar. That's pretty good. The guy's flying. Great climber. Plus 110. I'm gonna zag here because of the time trial bike X factor, and it is a flat-ish opening 3K of the stage. I'm going to go Remco Evenepoel plus 120 for the podium. We saw him with one of the strangest rides I've ever seen today, being dropped twice. Dropped on the penultimate climb, which means he had to invest a lot of energy to chase back on, gets dropped at the bottom of the final climb. Still is a decent climb, finishes 7th on the stage. That kind of convinced me, like, this guy might be pretty good in an uphill time trial, especially with 3K of like his preferred terrain to start. He's going to gain a lot of time to start this stage. I think he could finish on the podium here. So I'm going to go plus 120 for Remco Evenepoel.
Yeah, I mean, it is his preferred exercise, although it's a mountain time trial, but it's still an individual effort. So he can ride his pace. And I actually think that Remco, he looked bad there for a moment, but afterwards he kind of did a pretty good ride. The way it looked on the Solo, let me tell you, Spencer, where I was, Remco has just gotten dropped. I thought he was going to lose 10 minutes at least.
Well, wasn't like Van Wilder.
Point.
It looked like he was like waiting for him. Like Remco couldn't even keep up with his teammate.
Yeah. So he kind of recovered, did a great descent, and the next climb, that Cat 2 climb, he did really well and defended quite okay on. I mean, the proof he's still in third place. So I think it didn't look that way on the Soulor where I was standing there. So probably he took some motivation out of that and can answer with a good result tomorrow.
And it kind of doesn't start to go against him until about 3K to go. And then it tips maybe away from his favor. But before that, I think it's flat enough. He might be flying on that time trial bike if he's on it. Someone asked us, like, how do we weight these? So if a favorite is a unit, like 1, I've been doing wild cards for this tour at 0.2. So if we put $100 on a favorite, we put $20 on a wild card. But you can, play around with that as you see fit. That's been a good option for us at this tour because a lot of the favorites have been winning, not so much the wild cards. If you're at a Giro d'Italia and a lot of wild cards are winning, maybe it's better to go 1 on the favorite and 0.5 on the wild card. But 1 to 0.2 has worked well for us this tour. Let's take a quick break. Then we're going to do some head-to-heads, Johan. We'll be right back. Okay, this is on FanDuel in the US. Florian Lipowitz, head-to-head against Remco Evenepoel. Lipowitz is minus 172, Evenepoel plus 126.
Mm-hmm. Based on what I've saw today, Lipowitz.
Right. Next one, Oscar Onley minus 186 versus Tobias Holland Johansson plus 138.
How did Onley do in the Tour de Suisse?
Yeah, good question.
In that time trial? He was pretty good, no?
He was third in that time trial. And this has been proving to be a pretty predictive race so far.
Yeah. Oscar Onley.
All right. I mean, this is actually kind of freaky. It's Felix Gall. Almeida crashed out. So he was first. Gall's second. Onley's third. Kevin Vauquelin fourth. Harry Sweeney, who's been amazing, is fifth. So that's a freakishly predictive race. Primož Roglic minus 186 versus Kevin Vauquelin plus 138.
Primož. I'm going to pick
Primož. Real socks today or tomorrow? We don't know. Tadej Pogacar.
What was that, man?
I don't know. That was. I kind of wonder if he forgot his socks and he just had those to wear. This one makes no sense. I'm just reading it so people don't bet on it. Tadej Pogacar minus 700 versus Jonas Vingegaard plus 410. I would think you would just bet on one of these because these are worse odds to win the stage. Yeah.
No, it makes no sense.
Don't do that one.
It's too much money to. Yeah.
Because if Vingegaard is going to beat Pogacar, he's going to win the stage. So just bet on him at plus 500 or whatever to win the stage. Ben O'Connor minus 126 versus Carlos Rodriguez minus 108.
These two guys were in the break and they both finished on their knees today.
Yeah.
How much did they lose?
O'Connor was
today
10:43 back. Carlos Rodriguez 12:31.
The question is now, Spencer, now that they're out of the GCs, are they even going to go fast tomorrow? Don't you think you want to save yourself and try to go in the break and try to win a stage? Makes no sense to go. I mean, tomorrow that's the problem of a time trial tomorrow. Tomorrow there's 10 riders who are going to go full gas. Everybody else is going to take it. I mean, not easy because there's going to be a time cut, but still, I mean, you have to be really slow to be out of the time cut. So, anyways, Carlos Rodriguez.
All right. I have no confidence in either one. Before we go, I thought this one was interesting. This is to win a stage, just any stage before the end of this race. Jonas Vingegaard plus 175, Wout van Aert plus 350, Mikkel Kwiatkowski, who I did not know was here, plus 410, Shkoma's a plus 410.
He's not. He's not in the race.
Don't bet on that one. Florian Lipowitz. That's kind of weird.
Kwiatkowski's not in the race. Yeah.
That's a trap. That's free money for the book. They're just trying to see if you're paying attention. That's actually pretty bad that he's on there. Florian Lipowitz plus 650. Do you think any of these riders are going to win a stage before the end of the race?
Lipowitz can win a stage.
Plus 650. Lipowitz win a stage. I'm putting it down. I would say he has a better chance than Jonas Vingegaard to win a stage.
But Jonas is going to have to, rely on the goodwill of Tadej to let him win a stage.
He's not really done that in the past. Like, remember, he could have let him win Isla 2000 last year, or no, it was the stage after that. But I don't know. Maybe after they waited for him, maybe that's why they waited. They wanted to be gifted a stage at the end of the race. All right. Well, anything else, Johan, before we take off?
I need to go to bed, Spencer. It's
all right.
1 o'clock in the morning.
Ooh, get to bed and get back to Madrid in the morning. That's going to be a tough day.
Okay. Thanks.
All right. Bye.